to the Cinefied podcast, the show where we like to sit around, talk movies, and have fun. How are you doing today, Cassie? Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks. It's been a minute. I'm doing
It
okay.
it has been a minute. I really don't remember the last time you're on. It was it this year or late last year that you were on?
I mean, gosh, what is it? May? I must have been
Yeah.
on sometime this year. I don't know. I can't remember. That Dracula
Well,
movie, maybe?
oh yeah, Dracula. Yep,
Yeah,
Dracula
whatever
was
that was.
February. So yeah, that was like
Okay.
three months ago. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Time is flying. But
Yeah.
Uh, but today we are talking Curry Barker's Obsession. This is definitely just kept getting steam after its premiere at TIFF. It's as our writer Peter Gray kind of described it. It's like the film that started out as such like an indie darling and just came out of nowhere and just became such a big like behemoth right now
Mhm.
in the horror community. I we're going to very quickly get into spoilers. So we're going to just dive into our spoiler free thoughts here, and just kind of if we recommend you go check it out in theaters. Cassie, if you want to start, how do you feel about this film, and do you recommend? And then after that, we'll start diving into details.
I loved it. I thought it was a rare, perfect or near perfect horror film, really. And I was kind of joking, like, oh, it ruined my whole night. I loved it, but that is kind of how I felt. It's very upsetting. Like
It scars
it's
you.
very intense. Yeah, it's not like it's not a super fun horror movie in my opinion. It really left me with just a nasty feeling in my gut. Like, oh, it's really impactful. But if you're a horror movie person and if you can stand it, I definitely say go for it and see it in the theater.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with what you said. I think that it definitely like as soon as this film ended, I was just like had this kind of like feeling in my gut where it's just like, and it's kind of like I want to see it again, but I also don't want to see it again, which
Yeah.
I feel like you kind of might have a similar feeling where it's just kind of like it's so well crafted. It's such a good horror film in most ways that it's pretty original, and it just kind
Mhm.
of really just strikes a nerve that it
Yeah.
really makes you go, wow, that was an experience I'm glad I had in the theater. So I fully recommend if you're a horror fan, go out, check it out in the theater. I mean, Curry Barker is a brand new name in horror. He's a half of a comedy duo. If you've not seen his comedy troupe, That's a Bad Idea. With the one of the stars of this film is the second half, which is Cooper Tomlinson. They are fantastically funny. Go check them out on TikTok. But it's kind of become a kind of a trend with uh, you got Zach Kreger from The Whitest Kids You
Mm.
Know or Whitest Guys You Know. I think Whitest Kids You Know.
Yeah,
Um,
something like that.
and then and so he was long running in that troupe, and then obviously made Barbarian and then
Yeah.
Weapons, which won an Academy
Mhm.
Award. And then you
Mhm.
got Jordan Peele, who also came from Key and Peele fame, and won an Academy Award. So we'll see if Curry Barker eventually comes into that running, where like
Yeah,
whether it be
comedy
directly
guys are
or
dark. Comedy, it's kinda like that. I don't know, that dichotomy can go both ways. If you're really funny, you can also be really, really
yeah,
scary.
yeah, it's this dark, twisted sense of humor.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
but that pretty much ends our spoiler free thoughts. So we both recommend going out, checking it out in the theater. So stop here, go check it out, come back. We're going to pretty much dive into a bunch of our thoughts, just random, jumbled thoughts about how we feel about the movie. So this is where that ends.
Yeah.
And we're going to start now. So, first off, the film feels very neon to me.
Mhm.
Like it's focus features, but it feels like very much on brand with neon, which they were in the running to buy this film, and I'm surprised they didn't end up getting it because it just
Yeah.
like in line with Hokum, and
Yeah.
my brain's not thinking of other neon films, but um,
It felt very together-ish to me. It reminded me of
together,
Together.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
So it's just very dark, and with those two films in particular from Neon, like it has this dark sense of humor, and that's what Obsession. So that's why it feels neon. It's not
Mhm.
neon. It's Focus Features, which good for them. They're an indie studio that's affiliated with Universal Pictures, so I'm glad they're got a winner here. But as far as what is your, do you have any history with Curry Barker and his partner Cooper Tomlinson? Are
Not at
you a
all.
fan of the comedy? Okay,
Not at all.
yeah,
I had never heard of either of them, quite frankly. I mean, I know they're pretty young, right? They haven't been around for
I believe he's
that
26.
long, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's very young. No, I am not familiar with either of them. So I was really going into this not familiar with the director or any of the cast, really. I wasn't sure what I
Yeah,
was going to get.
no, I also went into it fairly blind as far as like
Mhm.
I knew from like the teaser going into it, because the teaser was pretty much, there's a scene in the film where our lead bear, it basically he's made the wish, and he basically calls the support line, which is a very comedic scene
Yeah.
where, and that is the cameo of the director Curry
Mhm.
Barker on the phone, and but that is like the teaser. That's all I had going into this film. I
Mhm.
refused to watch anything else. Like I saw maybe little glimpses here and there, but I pretty much just knew that going in. And I think the film is the better for going into it as blind as you can.
Agreed.
So
Agreed. Yeah. I don't think I even saw a single trailer for it. Honestly, I just saw people saying how good it was, and that's especially for horror films. That's usually like my litmus of whether or not I want to see something, is I'll see like, well, did my friends like it? And if is
well,
it
did your friends like it?
yeah, yeah. Well, we have the same friends.
I
you
know.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I heard such good things about it. So I went on, and I'm a big solo movie goer, but like when I saw Hokum, I'm so glad I went with someone else, because sometimes when a movie's really scary, you just want your friend to bury your
Grab
face in that,
onto.
because like jump scares, and my friend that I was gonna go with had to work late, so she had to bail, and I was like, oh man. But I still
So you
went and
saw it
saw
by
it because I
yourself?
really wanted, yeah. So I went into Obsession by myself, and it was a horrifying experience, but don't regret it. It's so good. So yeah.
Well, we'll jump very quickly into kind of the parts that we felt like scared us, if some
Hmm.
stuff may have gone a little too far. But first, the cast. We got Michael Johnston as Bear, the lead. I think he's just fantastic in this lead role. I mean, I like at points I sympathize to him, and then at a certain point, you're like, this guy's a piece of shit
Yeah, first
because
of all, he's not Dave Franco, which I had to remind myself when I was watching. He looks so much like him, right? He reminded me
a
of,
little
like, I was
bit.
like, is there another Franco? Is there-
He has some of those vibes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he also gave me a little bit of like I don't know, an era of like Jesse Eisenberg, kind of like
Hmm.
back in like
Sure.
Adventureland days, like
Sure.
if you ever
Sure.
saw that. So,
The
but I
awkwardness, maybe a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, Cassie, you know enough about me to know I'm a relatively awkward person, and so I relate I
I mean,
relate
I would
to
never say that.
well, I
We all
but I
are.
relate to an extent to our lead here, Bear, and especially like these. We don't know how old these characters are. Like they have a job, but it seems like they're like maybe just out of high school, like maybe like because it doesn't seem like they're in college. Well, no, they're in
Yeah.
high school because the one of the
Are
characters gets
they?
that was like college application thing.
I
She
know,
gets
but I
in.
still got the feeling they were like mid-20s. I felt like she was like someone who was older and applying to colleges, but I don't know.
Maybe.
That was kind of the feeling I got, but
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
he had a
but
house. Like, I know he said his grandma left it to him, but still, I don't know.
I
They just
also
didn't look
didn't
like
get
high
the
school
vibe
students to
if that
me.
was a house or if that was an apartment or a condo. It seemed like a condo. It seemed like they had to go
Think so?
upstairs to like to yeah, it felt like it wasn't like ground level. Like we never get an idea of where well the rest
No,
of the
he
cast,
walked
then we'll
out
dive
the door with the tape over the door. He opens it up and he
he
walks outside.
Did we
right?
see an exterior shot? I remember him pulling the door. I don't remember him being on the exterior.
Okay.
So
See, just because
I
need
feel
to
like
see
we
it again.
always
I
are
don't
just
know.
inside, but
Okay.
that might just be, limited budget where they couldn't show. It's probably a set that
Yeah.
or it might not be a set. It might, who knows? It's a very limited budget movie. Trey
Yeah.
Barker's made it very clear that he's surprised it was even picked up, which is great for the guy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But Michael Johnston, I think we can both agree he's really good in this role. But Indy, I apologize pronouncing your last name probably very wrong. Sure. Indy Navardi or Navar, I'm just gonna say Navardi as Nikki. I mean, her performance is outstanding. Like, it is horrifying, and it's so, like, she in an interview was talking about how she definitely had some inspiration while watching like Mia Goth as Pearl. And I totally get that at points, because like when she's going like psychotic, because it's like a meme now, her at the restaurant getting up and going, no, and freaking
and also
out.
the frown in the party, the like,
the frown is no, I don't. And that's the thing, that's practical. Someone asked her in a Q&A and was like, and it was like, when you were frowning, was that real? And she just did it on the spot. And she's like, oh, was that the question? So it felt very much like, because I think like the smiles and like Smile are CGI generated or practical.
I've heard that they're actually real. I've heard that they're real.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
the ones where they're fake scary. Are that Truth or Dare. Remember Truth or Dare? Those horrible fake those ones were fake. But as far as I know, the ones in Smile are actually real.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I need to revisit it. But talking about Smile, Smile, I enjoyed, but I don't want to really revisit Smile because there's a whole really horrific cat death in Smile. You've seen Smile, right, Cassie? Sorry if I spoiled that. But yeah, the cat gets wrapped up as a gift, and then it's opened by a little kid, and it's horrifying. Like, that is like one of the reasons. Like, I own Smile. I loved everything about Smile except that scene. I get the importance of the scene, but when our fellow writer Trevor said in the group chat, "Hey, just a warning, there's a cat cadaver," I was just like, "Well, how's that going to take place?" And I think it was gross, but I don't think it was to a point where I go, "Oh, I can't watch this," because we don't see the cat die. It wasn't like it's pretty much, it seemed like not peaceful, but it just like overall it's just like it's dead from the start. We don't see it living. Smile, we see the cat alive. So I think overall, but how do you feel about, do you think the cat stuff, because the cat plays a pretty big part in some of the fucked up stuff we see.
It was upsetting. It was a little upsetting. I mean, I'm an animal lover, but I mean, I wasn't. It's tough. It's tough to, because in a way, it's almost like you want to warn people, but this is one of those movies where it's hard to warn people without kind of spoiling what happens. You know what I mean? I also saw someone say, don't see this movie if you've ever been in a relationship with someone with borderline personality disorder. And I'm like, oh, I mean, I can see a lot of different things that would be triggering for people, but it's like, how do you say that without like completely giving away what happens, kind of? I was pleasantly surprised that I was thinking the cat's death was going to come back later, and it was going to be like, oh, he killed the cat or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I was overthinking it, but so I was glad that I was wrong. It's like, okay, cool. I haven't seen every single trope in a horror movie, because it really was, that was what just it was. The cat got into the drugs.
And of course that is how they play out that how the ending is going to go, or the attempt at the ending is going to go, where the pills will play a factor, because the pills don't come back into play until the very end. The one thing I think that's the remainder of the cast, because I keep jumping around, but we have only 3 other actors in this film. There's other actors, but as far as the main people, we have Cooper Tomlinson, the aforementioned second part of the duo, That's a Bad Idea, who plays Ian. And then we have Megan Lawless, who plays Sarah. And then we have a nice sort of cameo, but a little bigger than a cameo part by Andy Richter as
Yeah.
Carter, Sarah's dad. And I really enjoy when I saw Andy Richter because I was like, I didn't know you were here.
I know.
So,
I wonder how that happened. I guess, well, he's a comedy guy, so maybe they
yeah, they
know each
might have
other
had like
from the
they could have
comedies.
had a skit together. Yeah. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I was excited to see him too.
but I think Cooper and Megan and then Andy's very small. Like Andy is a very background character, so we won't get into Andy. He's good in his little role. But as far as Megan and Cooper, they do a really good job as Ian and Sarah, as kind of like these friends that are very like they are very authentically sketched out by this situation. Like they're like, we know she wasn't into you, dude. Like, why is she so suddenly into you? While there's also a factor of like Ian brings up that Sarah has, well, actually, both Ian and Nikki, before the possession happens, both bring up that Sarah has a thing for our lead Bear. And Bear kind of like, kind of goes, whatever. But
and it's like, come on, she's so hot and she's into you and she's right there. Yeah. Come on.
And and they have that nice moment before the cat sandwich happens. So you're like, they could have been
exactly.
good.
Oh, not the cat sandwich. I had blocked it out.
Yeah, I unfortunately there was a few moments that I did know going in. I hadn't watched any of the teasers, but I saw on an interview that someone had said something about that sandwiches will forever be something that they're very scared about eating or have to check the contents before eating. And one of the cast or Curry was like, oh, I'm glad to hear that. And I was just like, well, something happens with a sandwich.
With a sandwich. Yeah.
So
I mean, I already didn't trust the sandwich before it was revealed what it was, just because of, it's a horror movie and she was being weird. Yeah. So I was like, oh man, don't eat the sandwich. So, but ugh.
Yeah. It's a pretty gross little scene there with the cat. I'm glad we don't really get like any kind of shots of the cat doesn't really come into play anymore after that. They kind of let the cat go away. So that's good. They don't run that into the ground. So where it could have, it could have been like splayed out in
it could have been grosser
because it definitely seems like she's like keeping all the brutal things she does in the apartment at the end, which is very confusing to me. But there's a moment where basically Sarah and Bear have a moment where they're like, hey, we need to talk about this whole situation. And she is trying to get into college. She has the letter and they're in the car. I knew this car scene was coming because Peter, our writer, he interviewed Curry back in September. You can check out the interview on Cinefied.com. And he talked to Curry about the practical effects of this car scene. And Curry didn't really want to talk about it. He like kind of like went over it, but he didn't want to go into too much because he's like, I want to leave it for people to have that experience. But I'm like, car. Something's going to happen with a car.
Yeah.
So I was like, stuff like this. I was ready for something bad. But I thought it was going to be like a traffic accident or Final Destination style, something really bad. Like, so I was like, the camera kept focusing on her face. And so I thought something was going to come through the windshield. I didn't think it was going to come from the side. And so, but did that scene, would you say that scene was the most shocking scene in the film to you? Did you expect it to happen?
Like you, I had a little bit of warning because as much as I love horror movies, I really hate jump scares because I always like jump through my skin. I'm just like a very like nervous person. So every once in a while, before I see a horror movie, I'll search like where the jump scares are to prepare myself.
Okay.
And so I very quickly glanced and it said a scene where Bear and what's her name? Sarah are in the car talking, and that's all I saw. And it was like that's the major jump scare. So I was like, okay. So when they were in the car, that's the only time they're alone in a car together. So like I figured. So I was somewhat prepared, but even so, yikes. And the brutality of it. I mean, she takes her head and she just doesn't stop bashing it into the steering wheel. I was like,
well, it's not
my
just a
gosh.
steering wheel.
I mean,
She put a brick there. That was like she put a brick in
you're
front
right.
of the steering
She
wheel.
did. She did. You're right. So yes, I would think if I didn't kind of know it was coming, that would have been the most shocking. But another reason I really want to see it again is there's a scene toward the end where he says I love you and she starts moving backwards in slow motion, and it was so uncomfortable. I was like, oh my god, and it freaked me out. But I want to see it again because I feel like I didn't get a good enough look at it, and it was really interesting and just really freaky and kind of like demonic. And I want to see it again because I want to get a better look at it like a second time, now that I know that it's coming. That was kind of the most uncomfortable part for me, even more than the car. Yeah.
Well, for me, I want to quickly say about the car. I learned that the car, because Peter saw it back at TIFF, and he saw the NC-17 cut, which
really?
which is actually talked about on Wikipedia. And so, because I was wondering, I'm like, what's different? And Wikipedia just straight up says they removed 6 or 7 more hits to the face. So her face got even more obliterated. And so they had to dial it back to make it rated R. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Wow. Now I want to see the NC-17 cut.
I know, and I regret it because I had access to it in September, and I was a dumbass and didn't watch it. So, and
I mean, you never know. Like,
I was just like, this is a little indie film,
right? Exactly. So. Oh, indie horror. We see so many of those. Like, whatever. Yeah, I get it. It's that is cool that we got the director. When did he interview him? I don't remember that.
It's one of those also moments where I was supposed to interview him. It didn't work with my work schedule. So I was like, Peter, do you mind? And he took over. And it's an audio only interview that he did while Curry and him were both in Canada in hotel rooms. So they didn't record their video. And so it's purely audio, but it's on YouTube. And it's just like, it's a 16-minute interview. And it's, he just really liked talking about the film as a whole. And especially now with this much time has passed, like you can definitely because I'm sure he at that time he wasn't kind of in this kind of repetition of answering these questions, so you kind of have more original answers back then. So
he hadn't been definitely talking about it so much. Freaking Peter and his cool stuff he gets to do.
I know. Yeah. No, Peter's the interview guy. He's always up for an interview. So you never know.
Well, same, but
it's timing. It's always timing. Yeah, I get it. So, times are hard because they always want to do interviews way too early, and then on a weekday, it's like do it on the weekend.
Yeah, I know, right? Like how's Saturday for you?
Yeah, it's like these actors are getting paid no matter what. Just have them do the weekend. So, but back to the movie, the concept. Well. Before I get into the concept of the film as a whole, my scariest moment, the one that really freaked me out was, and I should have totally predicted it, but it's when he wakes up and he's like, Nikki, and then it's like I was just like, I don't know where she's at, and I
you didn't see her?
Did not see her in the corner.
Yeah.
I didn't at all.
That
and so
was very
I was just like, until she talked, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So what did you compare it to?
Hereditary.
Oh, okay. Which she said she also had inspiration from Toni Collette with that, so that makes sense.
That. Yeah.
But it's just like her tone of voice, where it's because she breaks sometimes, where like when she is possessed, and then she has like her inner like Nikki, the actual Nikki comes out, and
so
and
sad
it's very
when that happens. That was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And but when. I just like the way that she just says so like I don't know, it's just the way she says like I like to watch you sleep and then she exactly. No, that's good. And then she's like and it's just like go back to bed and then he like refuses to go back to bed and then she like starts freaking out about how he doesn't love her as much as she loves him, and yeah, it's a whole thing. And yeah, it's there's a whole thing about trying to alter the wish with Curry Barker's character over the phone, and that moment did make me laugh though, because for the most part I didn't get a lot of laughs in this. Like there's some like disturbing laughs, like especially at the party scene, but with the Curry Barker cameo where he's just like he's so like deadpanned with his delivery, which is just how he does his comedy, but it was just like he's like, we don't really do that, man. he's like, did you like want to cancel your wish or like alter it? And he's like, it's like, was it like possible to alter the wish? He's like, we don't really do that, man. And he's like, well, I like to cancel it. And he's like, yeah, we don't really do that either,
man. You're right. That was like a little bit of comedy. I've seen some people describe this movie as a dark comedy, and it's not to me. I don't know. It's just too disturbing to be a dark comedy, and there's not enough comedy in it for me to consider it a comedy, but I don't know, that's just me.
I think it's more the shock value that makes it humorous for the most part.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable laughing. Yeah. It was interesting to me how I was going back and forth with like who was the most villainous. I mean, when the movie is over,
be a very hot topic online.
I know, and to me, Bear is very obviously I mean, it seemed to be like a metaphor for like just being in like a controlling relationship, kind of like, you know, I mean, if you want to look at it in a certain way, you could say that he was assaulting her. I mean, she didn't have her own agency, you know what I mean? Like, and I've seen people say that like she didn't have control over her body, so she wasn't consenting. She literally screams at the party, "It's not me, it's not me." So I mean, depending how you want to look at it, like, yeah,
I would say to up to the moment. I apologize for interrupting you.
You're good.
But up to the moment where because he's just kind of like he's not 100% in on it being this Willow. Like he doesn't 100% believe. He's about like, I would say 60-40. He thinks it probably is, but he's not 100%. And so I think up to when his friend Ian calls him and says, her dad's not sick, dude. He doesn't have cancer. Like, and then he's like, does that thing, and she has that freak out at the diner. And it's very clear that she is not a normal human being in that moment. And then it cuts to them having sex. And I'm just like, okay, well, this is where what you're saying, where this is to me where he is taking advantage. But I think up to that point, he's just like, I don't know.
Sure.
So yeah, he's like, she could be having a psychotic break because of her dad. But once he knows about the dad not being real, then it's taking advantage and so forth. But go ahead with any more thoughts. Sorry.
Yeah. What else was I going to say? I mean, to me, the moment where it became perfectly clear that he was just evil was when he was speaking to the real Nikki when Freaky Nikki was asleep, right? And she said, "Kill me." Yeah, and I've never been with you, Bear. And he's like, is it really that awful? And he was just like the disgust, the disdain, like he still feels like he's being rejected and doesn't care about the fact that she's begging to be freed from the situation. That's when, for me, I was so sure that he was a very bad dude. Yeah, like that was what tipped me over the edge. Yeah,
I think ultimately if he would have done what Nikki wanted, what she desired there, to be killed, which they never say you can't kill the person that's possessed. Like, we don't know if like it's an Evil Dead situation. I don't think so, because we see our lead die and he is possessed at the end. So I think if you die, you still die.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's not like demonic where it still takes over your body, but you know, the original is gone. So I think if he would have killed her like she was wishing, and because the demonic version, and it's not actually a demon, or it could be, we don't really know, but if he would have done that, then he would have solved the issue where he could have basically went and talked to Sarah, had that whole conversation while she's dead, and then Sarah is no longer going to get killed in that moment, because Nikki wouldn't come out of nowhere because she'd be dead. So
Mhm.
she basically would have to figure out how to explain, oh, I killed my girlfriend, basically. and I mean, he's not going to be in the clear. Like, it's just, I feel like he, for some reason, like, even knowing that there's no way to alter this wish, there's no way to get rid of this wish, he is not willing to kill her. Like, he even goes to the stakes at the end to try to kill himself,
I
and
know.
it
Which
doesn't
and
end
that
up
would have
working.
been maybe the last redeeming thing he could have done, but then he tries to wimp out of that in the end too,
Mhm.
right? Like he just so
Yeah.
it's ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, then he doesn't really have a choice, yeah, because yeah, she breaks. He gets a secondary. That's another comedic moment was with the clerk at the store that he bought it from, where it's just like it's
Yes.
very much like a like it
Yes.
was all in his head,
That was
Twilight Zone
funny.
thing,
That
and
was
it's just
funny.
like he's like they're right here, dude.
Yeah. He's like, I'm just messing with you. Jeez.
Yeah, he's like you're
That
coming
was
in
really
with all this
funny.
bad energy, man. He's like, why would
I
you
liked
why would you
the
sell this?
I know, the girl at the beginning too, who sold it initially was
And
funny too.
talking
I
on her
like
phone, yeah.
both of them. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I did, but yeah, I like both of them. I think I like the second guy a little more because I just liked his line where he's just like so mellow about it. He's just like he's very much aware that this happens and
I
people kind of, and so is
know.
the first girl. He's just
Yep.
like he's like why would you sell this? He's like there's so many warnings on the box, man. He's like it's not my fault. So, but yeah, I think I'm trying to think about the lead up to the final like moment. I guess we should talk about the house party. The
Mhm.
because the house party is a big scene in the film, and the house party is where we get to see Nikki and Andy, the actress, really putting it all on, and like
Yeah.
this is to me her best moment in the film because she is basically at this party. She can't hide her love for Bear, like, and so she has that frown when they're playing basically like a Jenga type spin the bottle type game where it's just basically like the dares, and the dare is which they don't really she never shows what dare she got that she read that
I was
really
confused as to
uncomfortable
what they were
passage.
playing, honestly. I was just like,
I
what are
think
they doing?
I think it's a drinking game. I know like there are drinking games out there that are like Jenga that have like the words on it and stuff because I've
Okay.
seen like YouTube videos. So I think that's what it is. It's just like basically most of the time it's like it's you pull it out and then you either one you like do whatever's on the thing or you drink, which is I think what she said. It's like do whatever's on there. And so she read that really because she's a writer at the beginning.
Yeah.
She's writing a book and she wants to have inspiration. So she like reveals this passage from her book, which is very like I remember like Hansel and Gretel playing a factor and the
Mhm.
brothers and sisters. I wasn't 100% sure what was going on in that passage. That's one thing that I would maybe want to maybe have like the script kind of like I don't know if or maybe
I
watch
did
the
read that
never
the director's dad wrote that for
Oh,
him. Did
really?
you see that? Yeah.
No,
Apparently his dad is getting into screenwriting and he like wrote that for him, which
just
ugh,
that
but
one that
yeah, just that
just
blurb that she
monologue.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it does feel very. I feel like he probably was like write something of like that's very something of nature, and then it's just like then he put it in context because it doesn't feel like it really fits into the film. I'm sure there is probably like if you think about it and you really got the rundown of what the words were, there is probably like layers to it that involve like these characters, but
Yeah,
it
it's
just
pretty
felt like very
nasty. I
like
mean, it was pretty great. I something about removing his skin and putting it inside her, like, it
yeah,
was
yeah, that no matter what, he was gonna be inside her tonight. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So, but she was also talking about at that point, I was just like, is this trying to say like it's like a witch type thing? Because it felt very much like because she kept bringing up Hansel and Gretel, and it felt like maybe like something about a witch taking over this girl. But it also there's a movie that came out. Well, it's not out yet, but there's a movie called The Fox, which has a basically with sorry, I'm laughing because it's such a stupid premise. I'm about to say it, but I'm trying to remember the actor. He's. Did you ever see Dangerous Animals? The
Mm-mm.
shark movie? No, he's
No.
not Joel Kinnaman. Shoot, he's like plays Captain Boomerang in like the Suicide Squad. just can't remember his name.
I'm gonna look it up.
Jai Courtney. He plays like this love interest, and Emily Browning is like his wife, and she's having like an affair, and he basically goes out in the woods after he finds out she's having an affair, and this fox in the woods, played by Olivia Colman, says, "Hey, I have a hole over here. Just push her in the hole, and then she'll come back a brand new person." And ultimately, and small spoiler for the fox, it won't be out for a while. She comes back from being pushed into a hole as basically a fox is basically in control of her body. Like, yeah. So I thought like there was some weird thing where something was taking possession of this girl, like basically tricking guys to like break the thing, and ultimately that makes the witch's soul. I don't know. I'm overthinking this shit.
Now I'm looking up the fox on my phone. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm like, this is such a weird.
Yeah. It's like a puppet. Okay. Yeah, it's like a puppet, and yeah, there's like an unbelievable amount of it's very Australian and it's very crude. There's
Australian.
Yeah, it is. It's very bizarre. Like I don't know how to describe it, but if the fox comes out anywhere near anyone listening, check it out. It's one of the most bizarre experiences you're ever going to see. But so I was just like thinking all the different things that could be behind this all, and I don't even think Curry knows exactly what's behind the one wish will. It's just a concept that he went with. But do you think? And this was brought up in an interview with him, and I want to know what you think. You might have seen this interview, but do you think that if Bear would have not chickened out when he calls her Freaky Nikki at the beginning, and she has her like, "Hey, don't call me that," and then she's like, "If you have like a thing for me, say it now."
Mm-hmm.
And then he chickens out and doesn't say it, and that the whole lead up to that moment was he was going to tell her.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that if he would have actually not chickened out, do you think she would have said yes in that moment or no? Because someone asked Curry and he kind of said what he thinks would have played out.
Yeah, I mean, she seemed to me like she kind of liked him, but I mean, that's the feeling that I was getting. Yeah.
Yeah, I also got those vibes. And Curry was saying that he made it in that moment where there's like this glimmer in Nikki's eye when he basically turns her down in that moment and goes, "No, like we're friends." And it's kind of like you see this disappointment kind of hit like her eye.
Yeah.
And it's like a twitch. And he's like, and that's where you gotta go, oh, she liked him. And is like, and if he would have just not chickened out, things would have played out so much differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because literally,
they would
like,
have had a real relationship.
Later, less than a minute later, he breaks the stick and things go downhill very quickly.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't think as a woman, I don't think I would say, "Hey, do you like me? Because now's the time to tell me." Like, I don't think I would say that to someone if I didn't want them to like me. You know what I mean? Like, and that makes it even all the more tragic because like they probably did both like each other and it could have actually worked out. But then it didn't.
No, it definitely did not in the way that at least anyone involved in the story wanted it to.
Yeah.
So diving into the deepest of spoilers now, we have in the end we have our lead bear get a secondary willow and to break, but he's unable to break it. So he tries to not trick his best friend, but try to make his friend realize, hey, this is what needs to be done because obviously Nikki's being weird and to break this. And the friend Ian, he breaks it, wishes for $1 million, and then immediately there's, I guess, a bunch of like rolls of money dropping.
Yeah.
And I guess the question there is, do you think that like that would ultimately turn bad and sour like his wish for love? Because like in that instance, it's just like, because I feel like if it was instantaneously bad, it would have been like a bunch of coins falling on him or something.
I think that this wish thing, or I like to believe that it's just sort of inherently evil. So no matter what they wish for, it's gonna turn bad. Like, just because it's more fun to think that.
Okay. Well, it probably realistically, it'd probably be like IRS giving him a call, be like, "Where'd you get $1 billion?"
Something like that. Yeah, or so, it's like laundered money or something like that. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's just more fun to think that. Yeah.
But he ultimately, that's a really good shot too. I really love the shot where his friend fucks up because he thinks it's not real, and then everything, and then all money comes, and he falls to his knees, and the money's going. It's such a, I mean, on the edge of like a beautiful shot, like of him kind of being like, "Why'd you fuck me over, dude?"
Yeah.
So his only resort now is to go and try to trick Nikki, the possessed Nikki, to do what his bidding and break the stick so he can get everything to go back to normal. This was never going to work. Like, she's too smart to do that. Like, they kind of like have the idea, like, you know, she'll do whatever you say, but that's not been the case at all this entire film. She hasn't done like a single thing. He said, "Come back to bed," you know, and then she's like, "Nope, I'm going to stand in my corner."
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's
I think at that point he was just grasping at anything, right? He was just so desperate. He was just like, let's just give it a shot. But yeah.
So he goes into the apartment. The apartment's a wreck. There's a moment earlier in the film where he goes to work with the cat sandwich, and she stands, and almost instantly from when he leaves, she like pees.
Yeah.
But then there's like so much, like there's like stuff over her face and stuff. So I'm very like confused, like what was all over her face.
I think she was supposed to have vomited. Like, she didn't move the whole day, and I thought that she just threw up everywhere. That's what I thought.
Okay. Yeah, I mean I guess that because her whole clothes were all soaked, and so I wasn't sure what like was really going on there, but I guess that makes sense. So but yeah, it's a gross scene whether you have the idea of what happened or not, because it seemed like kind of like maybe like did demonic residue, but it also could just be vomit. But then we're back in that apartment. It's very dirty at the end, and the friend that was bashed into, this is the one thing that I don't understand with the film, is that she is like, you have to, it's your fault, you made this wish, you have to hide the body. They go for the sequence of putting the body in the car. They drive to what seems like the shop that they work at. Is that where he's sitting at? And she's like, "I'll handle it from here." Or were they not at the shop? I'm trying to figure out where they're at. Where
the next thing I remember is when he walked in and her body was like in the
all
house.
Sprawled.
Yeah.
But because the body's no longer seen, like they take the body out in the car, in Sarah's minivan, and I feel like they took it because what the table and chair he's sitting in feels very much like a break room type chair and area. So I thought they were back in the store where Andy Richter owns.
Heck, I was so like after that scene, I literally, my mouth was open because of the brutality of it. I think I was still like digesting what I just saw. So for a good minute there after, I don't think I was processing what I was seeing. I think it's valid. Yeah.
So
I can't remember where they went or what they did.
But she's like, "I'll take care of it from here. You go home." And then he doesn't go home. I think he goes to get like the willow. Yeah, he goes directly to get the willow. He doesn't go home. And so and then from there he goes to Ian. Ian breaks the stick, and then he goes home. And at home, it's clear that she like immediately went home. I don't but there's not really a reason why she went home, because she was supposed to take care of the body, but she ended up not taking care of the body at all. And the body, it's like she half started, like she like started like stripping it down, being like, "I'm going to cut it into pieces" or something. And then
I guess that's what she meant when she said she was going to take care of it, right? Maybe she meant I'm gonna create this shrine for you like I did the cat.
Oh,
You know?
you know what? The cat thing might be, yeah, you might be right. Cause maybe she did have cat candles around.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, because it was such a fast little thing. And I was telling because they're heavily advertising the rating of this film on the poster, not this poster, but on one of the posters, just pure red, and it says rated R obsession, and it says like all the things that's rated R for. So it's rated R.
Yeah.
And and
Like
one of the things is nudity. And I'm like, there's not been any nudity in this film. So it's not gonna be like any kind of like decent nudity, like it's gonna be bad.
yeah,
something,
yeah,
something
exactly.
bad's gonna happen.
It's not gonna be like good nudity. It's gonna be
Yeah.
bad nudity.
Yeah, it's gonna so yeah, when I was just like something bad's gonna happen. And yeah, and it did. but it's such a quick little thing that you can't really register exactly what's, because it looks like it to me, like it also for a moment I was just like her I forgot that her face was bashed in, so I was just like her
Yeah.
face isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
So I thought she like Hannibal Lectered it and like took off her face and put it onto her face, but I'm like, no, that's not a possibility because her face
No.
doesn't exist anymore.
No, the face was just gone. Ugh.
So, but very horrific moment and whatnot, and yeah, it's ultimately he tries to make her break the stick. She does not want to do it, and she doesn't believe he loves her. It goes back and forth. He screams that he loves her, and then at that moment, the knock on the door. It's Ian of one, like basically be like, "Hey, dude, it's like I actually got $1 billion. Like, come through the door." Not registering that there's a lot of bad shit happening inside of the condo or house that he's at, and so I guess he just like, I guess the door was unlocked. I don't know, but he somehow gets in.
Yeah, he just kind of
He
let
might have a
himself
key.
in. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then he gets shot almost immediately. And then that's the end of that character. So we have 2 characters down.
Yeah.
So we only have the 2 remaining, and he basically somehow manages to make her get off of him. I don't remember because she was like straddling him and like making him, and then she shot him. I think he said like I have to go to the bathroom, or I have to like.
Yeah.
He says that a couple times in the film where he's just like, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, because he pretends he's like, I love you so much, everything's gonna be fine. And so he sort of subdues her that way, remember? And then he like runs to the bathroom.
He runs. Okay, yeah. And then she's like banging on the door. Yeah. And then we get the call back to the beginning with the cat with the pills. He takes the pills. He decides to take his own life. And this is actually the shot of the film that was the promotional shot for the entirety of its run at TIFF, and a little bit after that, of him like with his back against the shower tiles, having already taken the pills, and he's like covered in like blood. And he's like there, he like, he's freaked out. Like you can tell the character's freaked out. But that was, I'm like, it's so interesting that that's the shot they went with, and it's like so close to the end. So, but that is, yeah, that you kind of, he doesn't immediately go that route. He has the gun from her, and he tries to kill himself that way. And he's too much of, I don't know if I want to say a coward, because I don't know how much.
I mean, I think we're given so many examples of why he's just like a wimp, and like he's too wimpy to admit his feelings, and then he's too wimpy to kill her, to like save her from this situation, and then he's too wimpy to shoot himself, and then he's too wimpy after he takes the pills because he's gonna throw him up. I think that's what we're just given, all these examples of why this guy is just like kind of a pussy. Sorry, but like that's what we're supposed to. So there's no question in the end that like this guy really didn't have many redeeming qualities.
No, I agree. So so he, while he's in the tub and he's waiting for his death, he keeps getting this kind of like, not speech, but just kind of like these I guess affirmations maybe, or not affirmation, I don't know. He's getting like just like words from Nikki stating, hey, I think I understand where you're coming from. We should break
Mhm.
up, you know, and it's
Yeah.
finally like coming to his level. And it's kind of like in if you think of like I've already brought up Evil Dead, but it's like if you think of like Evil Dead, like even any of them, but like 2013, there's always like the moment where it's just like, hey, I'm me. I understand. Like, I'm sorry I did this to you. You know, it's like I'm fine now. Like, I think we should take space. You know, it's kind
Mhm.
of like that kind of moment where the
The
demonic
fake
entity is
out.
like
Yeah. Right.
is playing smarter than and most of the time the person that they're doing it to will fall for it, but
Mhm.
in this instance Bear's not falling for it, and she goes silent, and he tries to throw up. In the instance of him trying to throw up and him gagging, you hear the snap. She's
Mhm.
wished for him to love her as much as anyone else. What I forget what the original wish was. Love me
More
more
than
than
anyone
anyone.
in the world. Yeah.
Yeah,
Something like that.
and so then now he comes out of the bathroom. They have like a amongst the chaos and gruesomeness of everything in that apartment. They have like they don't like kiss or anything in that moment, right? They just kind of
They
look at each
do.
other.
I think they
They do.
kiss.
Oh,
They do
okay.
kiss.
So
Mhm. Mhm.
but they have like they're now on the same page. Like they're finally on the same page, and they're going to be together. They're going to fight this, you know. And, and then as as you should know from him not throwing up, is he's going to die, and he
Mhm.
collapses. She has a little freak out, and then ultimately he does die. And the only way to break the spell that he finds out is he has to kill himself. That's the whole
Mhm.
reason why he's trying to kill himself. And so she, in the last moments of the film, are relinquished of this whole curse, and she's
Mhm.
back to Nikki, and the demonic being is gone. But now she has this whole mess to deal
Well,
with.
that's just it. That's what's so sad in the end is the more I think about it is this poor girl is such a victim not only of, being taken over by this whatever, this entity, but
Yeah,
then look at this trauma that she'll have to deal with forever. Like it's just so sad. It's and I always say like I always look for a metaphor, but like it's like when someone gets out of a really toxic or volatile relationship. Like sure, maybe the relationship is over, but there's still all the emotional stuff that they have to deal with, and that's what it felt like to me is like okay, he's gone, but now she's left to deal with the aftermath of
yeah,
it all, and it's such a sad ending. Like it's really
yeah,
sad. Hmm.
yeah. I mean, and ultimately, so, like, yeah, I mean, there's no way to explain her way out of this. Like, it's very
Right.
much like she's gonna go to prison. Like, she's gonna go either probably to an insane asylum or whatever they call those in modern day. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just yeah, I mean, she's definitely not getting out this scot free. And like you said, she's a victim in all this, like
Hmm.
100%.
Hmm.
She didn't ask for any of this, and yeah. And did you know what the original ending was? Did you read about that?
Did I read? I don't think I did. No.
The You brought up his dad. His dad
Hmm.
actually told him to not go with the ending that because they shot the ending, and then they ended up doing reshoots, and the ending we got is what we got.
Okay.
But she actually doesn't come back to Nikki. The film ends in a Romeo and Juliet situation where he dies on her knees and she actually shoots herself, and
Hmm.
then that's it. That's the movie. It's just like obsession.
Which
And the
is
dad
like,
was like,
which would be like just as tragic, just in a different way. I don't know.
yeah,
It's so
yeah.
dark the way it did end, but it does make sense that they wanted to like, I don't know, wanted to have someone someone left over and not just every
Someone
single
survived.
person besides
Andy
Andy
Richter
Richter.
survived. Yeah, exactly. So
Oh my gosh. When she reached for the gun, I did think of Romeo and Juliet for a quick second though. So, oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, this movie really messed me up. It's not I loved it, but it wasn't fun to me despite some of the funnier parts. It's really very just tragic and
it is.
sad. Yeah. Like I I think I was really affected by um yeah, I don't know. It's hard even now. Like I'm still thinking of like how to put it into words and I can't do it. It was a very dark horror movie to me, but I want to see it again.
Yeah, I agree. I'm very much. I don't know if I guess hypnotized by this film would be
Mhm.
the best way to put it. Like it's very this and Hokum
Mhm.
are definitely two of the films this year that really
Same.
struck the right chord for me
Yeah.
as far as
Yeah.
horror. They're both original enough. They're definitely they just you have such like like same type of horror over and over, and like you hear like Obsession and you're like, oh, it's a
I
stalker
know.
film. You get these
Yeah.
stalker films every like couple, like it
Mhm.
feels like you get one at least a year, and
Mhm.
it's not necessarily coming out in the theaters, but you get, so I was just like, but
And
then
yeah.
you hear, oh, Obsession, is it like possessed type thing, and it's very dark, very bleak,
Mhm.
it's very over the top at times, but they also play it for for such an absurd premise of like, a wish, come true, like a monkey paw situation. I think they play it relatively real, like
Yeah.
if like I think overall, if this you wished for something like this, it would probably never go the right way. It
Mhm.
feels very much like and like what Bear said to Curry's 800 operator guy was like, I like to alter the wish. It's like, it's true. Like, it's the way, and he said this to Ian too. He's like, I need you to word it the right way, because it's just kind of like, I think if you worded it another way, like, I think maybe you can manage to not have as much chaos. I think no matter what, kind of like you said, Cassie, with this kind of situation, you're never going to get 100% pure happiness out of this thing. But I
Mhm.
think that there is a way to win over this. But the thing is, you're not thinking about winning over this because you think it's not real.
And
So
you only get one chance and it doesn't work after.
exactly.
Yeah, so oof.
But
Yeah.
I think that pretty much does it. I think we've kind of covered everything. Is there
Yeah.
anything else in this film that you'd like to talk about? Because
Anything else I
um,
wanna talk about? I don't think so. I really am looking forward to seeing it again, though. I do wanna see it again. Now that I know where, like, the scares are, I really wanna keep my eyes focused on the screen, and I think knowing the outcome will make it be, like, a totally different experience the second time too, so, yeah, I'm looking
I
forward to watching it again.
I am reading the Wikipedia page, and I guess because there were reshoots for several moments, the ending, and then also Curry wanted to add on to the opening scene, and also to do a better. He said to do a better job of showing why Bear doesn't want to fix it right away, adding the scene where Bear confronts Nikki for cutting his hair to emphasize that he wants to make it work. So
Mm.
that was an added scene where she cuts his hair, and yeah, he's just like, "Don't do that." That's the first time that he's like, "Don't do that,"
Yeah.
and then, and
Like
then,
he's
is that,
scolding a child almost. It's,
yeah,
like, weird, yeah.
and I like his practicing when Ian reluctantly invites him to the guys' night, and he's just like, "Don't invite her," and then when he parks, and he's like, "You can't cook the cat. You can't cook. I'm very upset with you." And then he says that to her through the bathroom door, and she's like, "Okay, honey," or whatever.
Honey.
But yeah, I think it also says that they had to do reshoots at the party scene, and they had to redo the whole thing because I guess the production had been done at a house that had burnt down in the fires in Los Angeles. So
Oh.
so they had to reshoot um, that whole scene so it
Wait, so
had
why did they have to
continuity.
reshoot it?
I guess they wanted to reshoot some elements of it, and in order for continuity
Oh,
sakes,
so
they
they
just
couldn't go
basically,
back. Oh, I see.
yeah.
Okay. Wow. Hmm. Okay.
So that's what I'm getting out of that. But that's, yeah. Let's see, different ending. Nikki survives. Okay, that's the movie we got. So yeah, Nikki survives in the end. But yeah, I think that does it. I think we both highly recommend checking this film out. I think it's going to become that. I think in the horror community, it's going to be a staple. Obviously,
Mhm.
any horror film, no matter how good or bad, is going to always get criticism. It's just the world of film. But I do think that overall, this is one worth seeing in the theater. Hopefully you get a good crowd. I had a really quiet crowd. No gasps or anything. It was very silent, which, you know, it's a win-lose. You do kind of want a little bit of audience reaction, like but I prefer that over talking or phones any day. So
I think I think my crowd was some uncomfortable laughter. I think that was the noise in my
I think
crowd.
I was the uncomfortable laughter.
Yeah.
I think everybody else was just in for my ride, I guess. But I think that does it. This it's been a good time. I mean, I always say I want to keep it short. Never it does it. I don't know why I even say
And
it.
then we
at this
talked for
point.
an hour. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think I mean, I had a good time talking. I hope you did too, Cassie.
I did. Always.
But I appreciate it because, yeah,
Mhm.
sometimes you never know how these go. But that ends our talk on Obsession. Please go out, check it out. Support Curry Barker. He's the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre director. He's also doing a film with Aaron Paul and Violet McGraw. There's a lot of potential with him in the future. Will he be the new Zach Krager or Jordan Peele coming from comedy to horror? Only time will tell. Or will he be a one-off success? Once again, only time will tell. But hopefully it's the before one. We want to root for the success of indie filmmakers.
Yeah.
But that ends it. This has been the Cinefied podcast. I hope you grab some popcorn, grab a drink, and remember, stay Cinefied.